What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Glad to see everybody piling into the rooms. Ron's Joe says, great morning, all. It is a good morning indeed. Good morning indeed. Lots of stuff happening. We got CPI going on. We also just caught the I'm just looking at the headlines. We just caught the guy that escaped from prison 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago. So that's going on too, outside of the stock market. But we got Adam in the house. We got Albert. We got Amy. Good morning to Andy, Bill, Brian. We got Brian Reppel. Good morning. Jason P. King, Joe, JT, Justin, Kevin, Liza, Lauren, Lucia. Good morning. Martina, Nancy, Rick is in the house. Good morning to Ron, Tanya, William, all my peeps out in YouTube land. Good morning to all you guys. We got Real Virtual Demand. All you other guys sitting back there just lurking. Good morning to all you guys too. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get to it. So core, we had a CPI come out this morning. That's probably going to be probably the biggest news all day, unless there's something else crazy that happens or Black Swan or something, of course, that we obviously cannot predict or see. But looking at the SPY, overall, the headline CPI came in line. The month-over-month core CPI did come in a little bit hot. So let's take a look at the quick initial reaction. No, win's not here yet. Win's not here yet. I would call the police, but they're kind of busy right now. So I don't know. We have to hold off the search team for win. But we got Ron says he's on a boat. Yeah, he's always on a boat though, and he gets great Wi-Fi out there. So I don't know. But here's our initial reaction off of CPI. So I believe this one's 8:30 in the morning. Again, the core month over month, that was the one I think that the market was really watching. That's what I think the Fed is going to be watching. And that did come in a little bit hotter. So the market did take it a little bit negative. We were able to hold it. We were able to kind of rally. And I think that puts us in a little bit more of a bullish sentiment. The fact that we were able to hold on to all of that headline that's out of the way. The market's already digested it, and that's telling me that there's people that still want to buy this dip right now in the market. So let's flip back to the daily chart. Trading on a Starlink. Very possible. Very possible. I don't know. He's a wild card. All right, we got SPY. So SPY is at a completely interesting spot. So we are holding pretty much where we closed yesterday, down 1 penny. Down 1 penny at the moment, and I think pure chaos at open today. I don't know which way this is going to break. We have VPOC here, which was already retested, and we got a VPOC right here, which is retested. So let's give you guys those lines. And again, we still have 26 minutes, so maybe the market could figure it out ahead of time. But 446.09 to the high side, and then to the low side, we're looking at 445.84. So we are very, very tightly squeezing in this zone until we break one way or the other. If we break northbound, I'm looking at 446.89. So still not a great range, but that's where I think that next little resistance comes in. To the downside, we do have one more support down here, which is 444.67. Both of these, just the lower one, 444.67, already kind of was retested, not in a bigger picture. So we could get down there. Maybe we look to hold that one. I think it's going to be a little bit weaker because we do have a wick down there that was probably the retest before we took off. And I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So I'm not sure which way we break today. Obviously, we're still kind of playing off that bearish gap and go from yesterday. So if we get continuation, obviously we're going to be feeling that the lower limits of those VPOCs. And we probably hold there. Maybe we dip. If we come down, maybe we could dip a little bit more. But probably shoot back. It'd be some kind of hammer, something like that. That's what I would be anticipating at least. Let's take a look at the Qs. Again, still gap and go from yesterday. So that's still on the table until those two candles, until the candle from the SPY breaks and until this candle here breaks northbound. We're probably going to be Chopzilla if the bulls are strong enough to even hold this, but we'll see. Because that was a beautiful retest into this. That is a gap and go. For the Qs, we are gapping up a little bit more. So the Qs are a little bit stronger. About 34 cents higher on the Qs. Limits up, we got a little bit more room. So 373.84, about 84 cents higher before we hit our first resistance. That also takes us almost to the 50% retrace of yesterday's candle. I don't think quite, but very, very close to it. So that would be a pretty good spot to hold if you're a bear and do not want this market to go up higher. That's the spot to want to hold. Otherwise, to the downside, we have yesterday's VPOC, which right now we are above through, so it's 372.95. And then if we start to break, the first level I'm looking at is 372.51. Yesterday we had a perfect bounce off of that, so that was already retested once. If we start to break down, I have no choice but to assume that one could get broken and probably look for 371.89, and we could get some continued selling. So right now, again, just it's not a clear defined, I have great edge anywhere on the markets. Hopefully we can find something with some stocks, but until something breaks, it's going to be, I think, a little bit of a tougher. Sebastian's in the house. What's up, Sebastian? We also got LC in YouTube. Richard Jet, good morning to you. Rado, good morning. Ooh, my peeps are showing up today. They're showing up today. All right, so Lauren wants to take a look at, let me just see if I missed any other tickers. Nope. If you guys have tickers, you want to drop it in the chat, let me know. We could definitely pull up those charts. But Lauren wants to take a look at LUV. Love. That was also his nickname in college. So that's crazy. That's crazy. But this is a gap down, retest gap, pretty significant. We are at a little bit of support. Watch this level over here on this one to the downside, 28.56. Let's see if we hit that one pre-market, 28.56. We did. This is a pretty decent gap down. It is a retest. I would expect this one to fade up higher. Expect this one to climb a little bit higher before we break. Just that's going to be a key area that it breaks down. If that starts to break and we start to close below that VPOC, let's throw this thing on a weekly and see if there's any other levels. The next spot, probably about $28.04. That would take us right around that little kind of bottom of that, and then past that, 26.73. So before this one dives down, let's see if there's news on this one. American Airlines Spirit / guidance. So that's not going to help. It's never good when airlines have to have articles with the word turbulence in it. You know that's not good. That should be your cue to sell. That doesn't even matter what the rest of the article says. But lots of selling into this one. And again, we do have a gap down as well. Even on that weekly, it looks like probably we fade higher first. AAL. I think I did miss some. Oh, no. Let's take a look at mRNA. I know I was missing some. Lauren had two more we got to go to. All right. So we got mRNA, Moderna, with a little bit of a gap up. Is COVID-2 back? Moderna rises on positive results from flu vaccines and other plans to move beyond COVID. Look at that. They're thinking outside the box. They're not even worried about COVID-2. They're killing it on the flu. They're killing it with the flu. Yep, this is a nice gap into a little bit of resistance, though. I don't know if I'd want to be the first one to buy this one. Definitely going to be ones for us to watch, though. I feel like I traded this one, but I traded it back in COVID. I traded it back in 2020, 2021. I think was really the last time I traded it. My thought process would be that this thing is light on volume. But at the time, it was one of the heavier traded stocks, naturally. Let me just get this one all the way to the top for now. This is an interesting gap and go. I do think we're probably crushing a lot of shorts that came in the last few days. 1, 2. I mean, really, anybody that came in 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly about 6 days. Again, the one thing I'd be looking for is that we are into a little bit of resistance, almost at the top of this pivot. I think we start to limit our move up. If we have a really good move, I think we get to 115.25. But would almost want to see this thing come back down and then look for maybe some kind of support at 109. I think that gets us a little bit better. risk reward on that one. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, interesting. Definitely going to keep that on the list to watch. We do have Match Group also gapping up. I think Jeremy was in the afternoon room. I only caught a little bit of it, but I think he was talking about Match Group yesterday in the afternoon room. Pretty decent selling. Nice little gap though today. We did have a retest gap yesterday, and that one is now breaking up higher. So even though that was a green day, this one probably acts a little bit more bullish than bearish. All types of resistance in this thing. All types of resistance. I do like this gap though. Let's do one more thing on this one. Let's throw a quick fib. Let's see where that 50% retrace and the 618 lands. So the 50% is somewhere at 45.16-ish. The next one up is 45.79. I'd probably say the high of today would be 45.79 if it could get there. More than likely we get held up at 45.50 first. So right in between that 50 and the 618 would be where my target would be. So if you're going to take a trade on this one, make sure that your risk to reward is decent. You are right back in the middle of this high wave, and I think this one just jumps around for a little bit. It might be a little bit tricky. I think this one might be tricky. All right, let me see what else we got. Roblox. RBLX. Roblo. So that's a gap down on Roblox. Technically, that was a retest gap. I don't know what the volume looks like from yesterday. Nothing too crazy on volume. Roblox video call feature could be major milestone for video game platform, Oppenheimer says. Maybe, but so far the market doesn't think so. But that is, you are trapping some decent amount of bulls from yesterday. That high wave actually has more volume in it than any of those previous big bullish candles. I think we're trapping a decent amount of people. Again, even on this one, you're probably sitting somewhere at the 50% move of this last little run up we've had. Let's do a quick fib on this. You are right in between the 50 and the 618. You do have a bunch of epochs right here. You actually have one at 27.54. So watch 27.54. If that one breaks down, then we probably continue down. Today, again, I don't think we're going to have huge range on this, but 26.96 would be where I'd be looking for. I definitely want to play this thing more bearish than bullish for right now until any of those really, the last two candles really get taken out. What I would love to see, and again, I don't know if it happens, but some kind of a bullish, and it could happen just because we're right in between the 50 and the 618. I would like to see this one get run up first. Run this one up first, come back into these levels up here, and then look for maybe a better double bottom, new lower low, something like that. That would get me much better risk reward on this one. Otherwise, we're kind of in a bounce spot. If you've missed that run up, this might be a spot for you to add if you think the price is low enough. Otherwise, I got some spots of support right below us as well. So we'll see. All right. Shop for Jeff Smith. SHOP. Shopify. Are we in the gap now? Yeah, very bearish candle yesterday. Nice little trap wick that came in on that one, the high of yesterday. Sold off immediately, ended pretty weak. We are now opening into the gap fill, so that could be coming in. Technically, this is a retest. So again, I wouldn't short this one out of the gate. See if you get a little bit of a buying. I would look for somewhere around $63 for the first spot to short. This has been a little bit tricky. Shop has been a little bit tricky. If you've just taken out some puts and just not pulled up shop, I mean, and you're just letting it ride, that's probably the better situation in this one. But if you do want to play this one short, probably don't be the first one out of the gate. Wait for at least $63, somewhere in that range. And then if you could get it to 63.55, that's going to be your strong resistance. So I like it short. I think this gap fill is definitely a target. Question is, where do we get in? And again, first spot, I'll be looking for $63. See if you get any double top up there, any type of pivot, evening star reversal, anything like that. And then we might be able to play it at $63. Otherwise, waiting a little bit longer to about 63.50. Also depends on which way the market wants to break at that point too. So a lot of these things, I mean, again, we don't know if the SPYs, we don't really have edge on this market. We don't really have edge today. This market's ripping bullish, getting crushed bearish, nothing like that. So if the market is absolutely ripping, I'm probably going to be looking for something long. But otherwise, shop does look like it probably could get some continuation. Which one? We looked at LUV. We did not look at AAL, but it's probably moving similar because the article had turbulence on all of them. In fact, I just typed in all instead of AAL. All right, let's see a little bit of a gap down. That one's significant. Somewhere around 12.50. Actually, even coming into this, that's breaking it. I thought we were going to hold that little bit of an uptrend. We're not doing that yet. Let's get a little creative with this one. Go out further. That means we're opening at that support. All of the volume is above us, so there's a ton of resistance now above us. I would really be looking for about $14.03 is a big resistance. So if you want to go bullish on this thing, that'd be all out at that point. Otherwise, if you're bearish, you really want to see 1351 break. We're very close to that. We're not quite there yet. We've obviously longer term, we've had a down here somewhere. We've had a decent amount of support. And again, this is probably about 1250. So if we absolutely just crank lower, probably that 1250 zone would be a good spot to just try to reverse if you're going short, or might be a spot if you're interested in airlines whatsoever for you to try to pick up a couple shares. But turbulence, we've got an issue. Turbulence. This is a retest gap. And again, we're kind of sitting at that little bit of an upper trend. So I think this one actually fades higher as well. I don't know if this is going to be the easiest long. We're going to throw this one up higher on the list as well. Otherwise, it looks like a complete mess. The only reason I like it is because it's in my imaginary line of the uptrend. That's about it. That's about it. I'm not a big fan of airlines in general. It's because I don't like people that just straight lie to you. They're like, if this plane crashes, all you have to do is put this mask on and you'll be saved. You're like, no, I don't. I think it's the impact I'm worried about more than the breathing situation. But good try. Good try. But yeah, technically a retest gap at maybe a little bit of support from that uptrend. That's about the only reason I would think to go bullish, and it is a retest gap. Otherwise, this is down quite a lot, and we've broken through some key pivots. I'd even in going bullish, I'm worried about 1367. So I'd be a little nervous to go bullish on that one. UAL. Another one down into decent support. This is a retest gap. I almost rather play this one bullish over all of them. And we got about $1.30 northbound side. So we have some room higher. I wouldn't mind trying to play that one bullish. All of these things, I mean, again, you can see the little downtrend that we've already had. So there's a lot of people shorting, going to make some money on this gap down. And I think for most of the airlines, if you even pull it up to the weekly, I mean, it's a pretty clear picture. Pretty clear picture of a lot of selling. So again, that's not great. We almost had some tweezer bottoms, and that's breaking on a weekly. I mean, it looks like we got a ton of room to the downside. I'd still want to come in this thing higher though. I want to short this thing higher. So if you're gonna go long, probably somewhere at the open, see if you get a red candle, look for a break, and try to play the fade. Otherwise, it's down a whole heck of a lot. And coming back in to short this thing about 47, 46 ish would be. I mean, if you can get that price, you're a hero. You are a hero. Win. We found Win. Oh man, we were concerned. We were Win. We instant panic attack. The whole chat was they were upset. They're like, "Where's Win?" We can't look at stocks till we know where Win is. I mean, it's crazy. All right, we got Amazon. So Amazon, we are gapping down 10 cents, very, very small gap. Interesting location though. We are below yesterday's VPOC. I would assume that yesterday's low is going to act as a little bit of support. So that'd be somewhere around 140.65. If this thing could, and I think that we can break that, especially if the market chooses to go down. Then the next location is 139.74. But maybe a short out of the gate there. If you're, again, that's all bullish. We're sitting a little bit of a double top. I really wouldn't want to see 141, 141 break if I'm in this thing short. But you are inside day. It's gonna make it probably a little tougher. I will scoot this one up on the list a little bit, but inside day from yesterday, and then the bigger one is you are inside that big bullish candle too. So this is the one where people have to act, right? Well, if you were shorting down here, you're getting out here, or you're getting out here. If you're long, you're like, man, this thing is breaking out. I'm hopping in, but you're going to act on this candle. This one doesn't matter so much, but we're even still inside that one. So, I don't know. I do see a little bit of room to the downside on it though. Googs, the Google with a little bit of a gap down. This one is a retest gap. Not quite into any type of support. If you could get a short on this one, probably about 135.23. Keep in mind though, any shorts on this, I mean, you are going counter trends. So this thing has been absolutely just tearing up the charts. More than Oliver Anthony's internet sensation song. But this one is this one's a retest gap. You do have now some kind of resistance above you. So 135.25 if you get in short as high as possible on this thing. I would imagine that this day, whatever day this is, the September 8th, I'll probably be looking for some kind of support around there, 134.83. I do have one level of VPOC. That one has been retested. So if we come down, I think if we could break through the candle from September 8th, I think that would get us to about 134.23. That's probably where that one stops, but it's got a little bit of room on it. Take a look at Apple. How we doing with time? We got 6 more minutes. It's not enough. I need more time. All right, we got Apple. Apple with a little bit of a gap up. Obviously, they had their presentation. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. They have some crazy new products. Well, they're the same product, but they have different adjectives. Really, it's the same product, just different adjectives. All right, we got Apple. So that one is gapping up, still inside yesterday's candle. See if this one fades down first. If you could buy it closer to 176.76. That would be decent. You're still really living with this big, massive gap down, and we haven't really broken out. There was our attempt to retest. So far, that failed. So right now, I think there's still some pressure to the downside on Apple, but you're at a little bit of support. And I do like the fact that we were above yesterday's VPOC. So that should hold us. We got actually two VPOCs there, probably putting a stop at 174.71. If you could get there, so the lower you could buy it, that could increase your stops. If you do want to go long, otherwise you really don't want this 176.80 to break. But inside day, probably a little chop fest, which we've seen with a lot of stuff so far. Sebastian wants to take a look at Tesla. Adam says you could skip UAL. Yeah, but I can't skip your comment, and we already looked at UAL. No, that's not happening. Tesla, very interesting as well. I still think there's a lot of room. Actually, this candle, by the way, if I think it was 2 days ago, Monday in the afternoon, we were looking at Tesla after this big run up. I think we said this candle will look exactly like this, some kind of a wick. This will come. We absolutely nailed what this candle was going to look like yesterday. So I hope somebody made some money off this one. I hope somebody made some money off Tesla yesterday, but this one did exactly what we thought. So this one has a little gap up. Be careful of this 270.84. That's going to be our resistance. So closer to open, it's very tough to short this one, but that's where the resistance should be. If that one breaks, that's going to take us to 274.08. I still kind of want this thing in a long direction at this point. That is a terrifying gap if we were in this thing short. But we do have to get through yesterday's VPOC. That will give us about $4 to the upside. I wouldn't mind playing that move from VPOC to VPOC. I think this is still bullish, but and we do have a little bit of a gap up today. We're just kind of opening at a location. I think we'd sell first, maybe come down, maybe we could hold this 267, 60 zone again, and then that maybe we get a better opportunity. But that's exactly what we thought was going to happen from on yesterday's candle. So we nailed that. What do I got? 4 more minutes still. XEL for a swing for Ernesto. It's down a lot already for a short, so I don't think I could play it short. If you do want to take this one as a swing long, you're fighting every moving average possible on this one. And I would have to have some kind of entry. I'd have to throw an entry for a breakout of this candle or a pullback. So I wouldn't take it yet. I mean, again, if you're afraid that you're going to miss it, you get in FOMO, you could probably try to take that breakout. Otherwise, if it comes back down to like 56.62 or better yet, I would really like this 56.29 with some kind of stop, but anywhere below 55.44 for an entry to go long on it. Otherwise, it is down a lot. And, you've been starting to make a break higher. All right, we got Airbnb also in YouTube chat. Airbnb, nice little reversal candle yesterday. Lots and lots of green candles in a row off that beautiful looking gap. It's kind of a gap and go. It is a gap and go, technically. But there's still a lot of selling that came in after this breakout. So there's probably some people in here short. I would play this one as if it was a fade. See if this one can fade up higher. Even 146.80, sorry. 146.80 would be the spot to look. Otherwise, trying to come in with a short somewhere around 147.36 if you're playing this hammer. And then my stop would be 151.24. I think this one does have to pull back for a retest. I don't think it's gonna be massive though. I think somewhere around this 143.57, and then maybe we hold this 141.90, something like that. But still, this one definitely it's bullish. Anything you do to the short side will be counter trends for now. But if you're playing that hammer, see if you get this thing up there. Even if you want to buy some puts just in case, that could be a double top. This was a good retest into that first initial breakdown. So this could be the spot where we start to pivot longer term. We are extended off those moving averages for sure. Workhorse. I haven't seen Workhorse in forever. All right, we got Workhorse, 63-cent stock at this point. When we used to trade it, it was much higher. You do have a gap and go on this one. It's under $5 by a lot, so I'm not going to take this one as a day trade for me. You're also gapping up into a little bit of resistance, so watch out for that resistance if you are going to play this one. CLX. Let's see, we got time for CLX. I think we got a couple minutes. CLX, Clorox Company. Any of these blue chip stocks are probably a little bit tougher to trade for day trade. At least you can still swing trade them, and every now and then there's opportunities to day trade. I don't really see any movement though pre-market, so probably just gonna continue to see if this one kind of rises up. First little resistance 150.74, after that one 153.76, but that was the opening bell. So unfortunately, everybody in YouTube land, I do have to cut the stream here. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button, and we will catch you guys. We'll do this again tomorrow. It was fun.